Okay, guys, we're going to rock and roll here. We are live on Hootie's Twitter account. One thing we need to figure out is the locked function with his Twitter account. It's still locked. We should unlock it. That way, non-followers can see his content because we want non-followers to see it.
Yeah, ever since I got hacked, it's been locked, and I've written them, and I get no response.
Judah might be able to figure that out if you have a chance. Yeah, you can look into it. Yeah, like and share the show, viewers and listeners. Like and share the show. One of the reasons that that's the case, Hootie, is because you want folks also to be able to retweet your content.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're watching on Hootie's Twitter account, we are welcoming you, the viewer and listener, to join in on the discussion and ask us questions. We're going to talk a lot of Virginia basketball. I was surprised they dropped one spot in the AP poll. They fell to 18. I'm going to ask this to the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe. And I understand the Boston College victory was ugly, and I understand Notre Dame and Boston College are bottom feeders in the Atlantic Coast Conference. But when you're a top 25 team, anytime you lace up your Converse, I guess they don't call them Converse, anytime you lace your Nikes or your Adidas or your Pumas, you have a bullseye on your chest, and you're going to get your opponent's best game, especially in front of a home, an energized, home court advantaged arena. And that's exactly what they got with Notre Dame. The kid, the sharpshooter for the Fighting Irish could not miss.
It was unbelievable.
I mean, it was literally unbelievable. He was shooting from the logo over 6'8" DeRitter, 6'9" DeRitter, and was splashing from bonus sphere. So we'll talk about that with the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. We'll talk football. I'm going to ask the question at the halfway point of the Virginia basketball season, how good is this team? Do we really know? A lot we're going to cover on the broadcast. We encourage you, the viewer and listener, to join us in the discussion. Judah, I think we're looking good. How you feeling over there on your end? Live on the group, J-Dubs. Live on I Love CVille? J-Dubs, excellent work. My friend, we can rock and roll when you're ready. You confirm YouTube when you can. We'll start the show and then give me a thumbs up on YouTube and LinkedIn. Count me in when you're ready. Fantastic. Good work, Judah. Welcome to the Jerry and Jerry Show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on a Tuesday morning in downtown Charlottesville. Where I sit right now, we are less than 2 miles from the John Paul Jones Arena. We can literally walk to the John Paul Jones Arena from our studio, less than 2 miles from Scott Stadium. My friend, the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, a household name in Virginia basketball, Virginia football, UVA athletic circles, ACC circles. He's going to be at the John Paul Jones Arena tonight. He's got a 9 o'clock tip-off. One thing I know about Hootie Ratcliffe, and I know him fairly well here, is the man does not like the cold. The man does not like late tip-offs. The man does love some Waffle House. I do know that about my friend Jerry Ratcliffe, and he loves a good quarter zip. So do I. I love a good quarter zip as well, especially when it's Rowback, which are fantastic supporters of JerryRatcliffe.com and I Love CVille. The Pittsburgh Panthers are in Charlottesville, and we saw against Notre Dame and Boston College is you can't take anyone lightly now. When you're a top 25 team, you have a bullseye on your chest, and you get your opponent's best, your best game. We saw that against the Fighting Irish and against the Boston College Eagles, but still the Associated Press did not reward Ryan Odom's team with the climb up the rankings. They actually fell a spot despite going unblemished this past week to 18 in the top 25 polls. We'll talk about that with Hootie. Judah Woodcower is behind the camera. The dude is doing yeoman's work. With this studio, 8 cameras, 4 different softwares, helping us with Twitter and Facebook, you name it. Judah Woodcower, salute, tip of the cap to you, sir.
He's a wizard. He's a wizard.
It's a wizard.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Woodcower over there. Can we go to the studio camera? And then we'll welcome our star, Jerry Ratcliffe. I try to save the compliments when I'm on air. freshly haircutted, Jerry Ratcliffe. You look sharp.
Yeah, got it before the snowstorm, thank goodness.
Yeah, since I last saw you. Look at well, why don't we start there? How is the Ratcliffe household managed snowpocalypse 2026?
Survived. That's about it. But my dogs are not happy. But I was stuck for a few days, but all is well.
Yeah.
Hope it is in your neighborhood.
Yeah, same hoodie. All is well. We were stuck for a few days as well. Our soon-to-be 12-year-old German Shepherd despises this.
Yeah, but both of my dogs don't like it. Well, one of them does. He likes to play in it. The other one doesn't care for it.
Is that the younger dog that likes to play?
Yeah, the younger one doesn't like it.
Does not like it. No. Okay. Is the younger one a bit temperamental?
He is.
What kind of dog is that? I don't know.
They're both English pointers, okay, but they're mixes. They're rescue dogs, and the young one is rather large. He weighs about 130 pounds.
Get out of town.
I know. I'm serious. He's huge.
Is the younger dog the alpha?
No. Yeah. The younger is. Yeah.
130-pound dog at the Ratcliffe household. We both love dogs. Judah Woodcower loves dogs. We love following college athletics. We start with scatter shooting with Jerry Ratcliffe. Where do you want to begin, my friend?
I agree with you. I don't think that it was. I don't think somebody did their homework or doesn't know what they're doing when they voted Virginia a lower spot in the poll this week. I don't think some voters understand the value of. I know that Notre Dame and Boston College are on the lower rungs of the ACC, but again, their home games. Virginia's at least a 10-point favorite in both of them. It's almost like an ambush. In football, there's a term for it, and basketball it should be the same because it's really easy to get upset and lose a game like that.
You're talking trap game?
Trap game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is not bankrupt of talent, and nor is Boston College. They both have some players, and both teams were actually missing some personnel. So
Notre Dame missing its best player. Notre Dame has a 5-star wing that looked at times to be the best player on the court. The guy that truly looked like he was the best player on the court. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Yeah. Dude could not miss.
Yeah, I was sitting there it was blowing my mind seeing him just make everything that he put up. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, you can't guard a guy who's standing 4 and 5 feet behind the 3-point line. I mean, you let him shoot that.
Yeah.
And he made them. It reminded me, and I wrote it in my column, of the old Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, McDonald's commercials where they were shooting for a bag of Big Macs. And,
I read that. That was good.
Off the highway, over the river, through the window, off the floor, nothing but net. And that's what he was doing. He was making everything he could put up. And Shrewsbury did the first half. He cooled off the second half, but they were very fortunate to come back from 19 down and win that game. And then at Boston College, they struggled a little bit as well. And it's the last 3 games. It's either been a slow start in the first half or a slow start in the second half, and that's something I'm sure that they're trying to address to come out a little more energized in both halves to try to establish some dominance in these games so they won't have to sweat and bleed at the end.
We'll welcome Jerry Ratcliffe's Twitter audience to the live feed here on the Jerry and Jerry Show. And as expected, it's blowing up right here. I mean, there's a boatload of people watching on his live stream on Twitter. If you give us a thumbs up, if you can unlock his Twitter account, J-Dubs, then I will retweet it all over our network so even more people can see it. Viewers and listeners, ask Jerry Ratcliffe a question, football, basketball, ACC related, put it in the feed. We'll relay them live on air. James Madison's got questions for you in Mineral, Virginia. We'll get to that in a matter of moments. I took the 2 wins against Notre Dame and Boston College as a sigh of relief as a Virginia fan, and B, a sign that Odom's club has got resolve and tenacity and come togetherness, and that Odom made adjustments at halftime that created a victory type of scenario. They didn't get off the bus against Notre Dame. The first half against Boston College was some of the worst basketball Virginia has played.
Yeah.
And it was clear in the second half against Boston College, Odom said, give the ball to DeRitter and let him play some bully ball on the block and get to the rim because he's the most physical guy out there. I was impressed with what Odom did at halftime, Hootie.
I was too. I thought, Tony Bennett was a master of making halftime adjustments, and Odom is starting to show that he's no slouch in that either. And, they were 2 of 16 from the arc in the first half, and they were just jacking up threes unconsciously. And I know he wants them to hunt threes and take a lot of threes, but he wants them to be good shots and not just throw them up just to throw them up. And then he cautioned them about that, and then they cut down. They were a lot more selective in the second half from the three-point line and were more efficient. But it was obvious, I thought, that, and I don't know why the team didn't do this more, it was to get the ball in the paint to DeRitter. It was clear that they had no answer for him. They couldn't stop him. I kind of nicknamed him the Belgian bully because he just bullies his way through the lane. There's no one guy that can guard him man to man, I don't think, down on the block. And he was eating them alive, and they fed him early in the first half. I think he made his first 4 shots in a row, and went to his left hand to score a couple of them too, which is something that he hadn't been doing, I don't think. So that worked out well, and hopefully it's something his teammates will be more cognizant of going forward, and just give him the damn ball.
Yeah, it seems.
Get out of his way.
Right. And Virginia's gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Virginia's gotten away from that of late. We didn't really see it till Boston College. Like, if you give this 23, he's a 23-year-old man. You've unlocked his Twitter account. Yeah. Fantastic. He's just, look at this guy.
I told you he was a
During
wizard.
The show.
I told you he's a wizard.
Well done, Judah. DeRitter's a 23-year-old professional basketball player.
His birthday was the
He just had
Boston
it.
College game.
Yeah, it's Boston College game.
Yeah.
He's a 23-year-old professional basketball player. His physicality on pretty much every game he plays. Now, there's going to be some matchups. I'm very curious to see how he matches up against the Boozer kid when they head to Durham.
That'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, because he's got the physicality to match up with DeRitter, the Boozer kid, and he's a freshman. Maybe a top 3 draft pick. You got the kid from BYU, the kid from Kansas, and then maybe the Boozer kid from Duke in the top 3 in some order with this upcoming NBA draft. But we haven't seen the Belgian bully get on the block and play within less than 8 feet of the rim. We've seen him fall in love with the bonus sphere shot.
Yeah.
We've seen him attack off the dribble, but we haven't seen him truly post up and use his broad shoulders to create leverage and to create space and get to the rack. I hope that is something that is part of the game plan moving forward.
I think we saw it some early, but they've gotten away from that, and I think that takes away from the team because he's unmatched. There's, like you said, unless it's Boozer or somebody that we're not aware of that they haven't played yet. The kid is just unbelievable. He's almost unstoppable when he puts his mind that he wants to score. You can kind of see it in his eyes that he knows that he has the advantage, and he's just trying to back the guy into the lane as far as he can. Jeff Jones calls it Barkley-ing.
Yep.
Something Sir Charles used to do. And, make his move to the right or then come back to the left, then back to the right. But then, he's learning to use his left a little bit too. makes him even more dangerous.
100%. He's extremely talented. The only thing DeRitter does not do well on a basketball court, he's not the best leaper. And we see that from time to time when he's looking to finish around the rim. If he was a little bit more explosive with his vertical jump, there would be more flushes and dunks.
Yeah.
He does not do that.
Yeah, he and Grunlow both are not great at finishing.
Yeah.
And
not the best athletes.
Right. And it's something that they can improve upon. But right now, that's not their strength for sure.
How much of the struggling, the shooting struggles is tied to Jakari White and the brace on his left hand? We've heard through the grapevine with folks that are tied to the team that Jakari White has not been practicing well, that clearly the brace has been giving him difficulty in practice. He showed some flashes against Boston College. Odom is asking Jakari to contribute in different ways if the jump shot is not falling. But this team appears on paper, at least pre-injury, to be a much more dangerous team when White is spreading the floor from downtown.
Yeah, well, he was really he was shooting the three at almost a 50% clip, which is, Isaac McNeely like. And I mean, there's no substitute for somebody who can drill threes like that. It completely changes the game, and it opens things up inside for DeRitter and the bigs, and then the ability for Chance and now Malik Washington's driving the ball more. It opens up things on the perimeter too, because you have to respect the bigs, and then if these guys can drive the lane and then kick it back out, or if the bigs can take a pass and kick it out, and DeRitter's really good at that. If you've got a guy that's red hot, I mean, there's no answer for that. And Virginia's hard to guard to begin with because of all those factors, but that makes him even harder to guard when he's himself. And Odom had a sit-down talk with him last week at some point, and I think he realized that Jakari was being, tough on himself because he wasn't being able to contribute the way he was. And Ryan told him, he said, just worry about the things that you can control right now, and, play defense, pass the ball, don't be so hard on yourself. And I think the kid took that to heart, and he made a couple of nice threes against BC, and afterward Ryan said he looked more like himself than he has any time since the injury, which was on December the 20th against Maryland. But we even saw he was so comfortable that he actually went down on the floor. I know a lot of Virginia fans have told me through Twitter and email that they were gasping when they saw him dive on the floor for a loose ball at BC, and because they were afraid he would re-injure his wrist. But
I was gasping in my living room when I saw that.
Yeah.
It's like the quarterback that does not slide on second down, going for the first down marker.
Chandler Morris.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Chandler Morris. There you go.
But I don't know how long it's going to take for him to completely heal and get the splint off his hand or whatever it is. But if he continues to make some strides week by week, he'll be ready at the right time.
Renee Pettifer watching the program, one of our favorite
Renee.
Virginia basketball fans and viewers and listeners of the Jerry and Jerry Show. She says she's very much enjoying this college basketball season. She says she's also surprised that Virginia basketball dropped one spot in the AP poll from 17 to 18. Why the surprise also was compounded for me was there were a number of teams that lost above the University of Virginia in the AP poll.
Yeah.
So there was an opportunity to climb vertically. Regardless, the Virginia basketball still ranked in the top 25. The Who's have Pittsburgh tonight, 9 o'clock tip, ACC Network. We will get to that Pitt Panthers game. Virginia opened as a 15.5-point favorite. That line is now down to 13.5, depending on where you shop. Vanessa Parkhill is watching the program in Earlysville, Virginia. She highlights Ryan Odom and says Coach Odom makes good halftime adjustments. That's critical for the overall success of this team. She applauds Odom. James Watson is watching the program. This guy bleeds orange and blue. He's a Virginia alum. He says Ryan Odom for president. I would actually argue that prior to Virginia teams were never that great coming back if we got down 8 or 10 points, which wasn't very often. However, this Virginia team shows it can play comeback basketball when it gets behind. And he highlights that Odom is invigorating the team when it's down in ball games, Hootie.
Yeah, I think he learned a valuable lesson himself against Carolina because they had that game. That they fell behind and they were able to narrow. They just didn't come out of in the second half the way everybody expected them to.
They dominated Carolina in the first half,
yeah.
Then did not come out of the locker room in the second half, but were able to whittle it down to a one-possession game and then couldn't get over the hill.
Yeah, and I think Hubert Davis made some good adjustments at halftime, and Virginia didn't readjust. And I think Ryan probably learned a valuable lesson in that game that will help him throughout the rest of this season and the rest of his career in the ACC. But they are pretty good at coming from behind as a rule. And anytime you can come from 19 down and win, you're not supposed to win that game. Everything was going against Virginia that night, and for them to come back and beat Notre Dame on its home floor, I don't care what Notre Dame's record is. That was a hell of a win for the Cavaliers, no question about it.
Donald Foley is watching the program in Southwestern Virginia. First time he's commented on the show. We'll get to Donald Foley's comment about recruiting in Southwestern Virginia and why UVA football and basketball seems to be missing players in Southwestern Virginia. That comment coming up. There's a boatload of comments on the feed. Put them in there. We're going to relay them all live on air to Jerry Ratcliffe of jerryratcliffe.com. I want to throw the performance and production of Sam Lewis in the Notre Dame game. This guy hit big-time shots.
Yeah, he really did.
And Sam Lewis is, as the late, great Stuart Scott used to say, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Mm-hmm. He never is hurried. I'm reminded of, I'm not making, don't take my words out of context, viewers and listeners. I am not comparing Sam Lewis to Kawhi Leonard, the NBA basketball talent. But what Kawhi Leonard does is, and he said this is what he tries to do, Kawhi Leonard says, slow is pro. He never wants to be rushed on the floor. He wants to get to his spots. He knows where his spots are, and he will slowly get to his spots to get his shot off because he wants to get the same 3 or 4 shots up if possible every game. Slow is pro. Sam Lewis kind of embodies that like smooth, slow is pro, never rush guy. And frankly speaking, I think Sam Lewis has so much upside and is just scratching the surface. It's just there's so much talent on this roster. He doesn't have a chance to be guy number 1 or number 2 or even guy number 3.
Yeah, I mean he's overshadowed so often, and he's kind of like us. You're right about the slow. It's kind of like Bryant Stith was. You'd look up at the end of the game, he'd have 23 points and 9 or 10 rebounds and 5 assists and no turnovers, and just a silent assassin kind of thing. You don't notice that they're killing you all game long, but we did a podcast, Jeff Jones and I did last week with Wally Walker, and we were talking about all the players on the team, and I finally said, and we even haven't mentioned Sam Lewis yet, and it just shows how
deep
the guy is overshadowed because of all the other talent surrounding him. But he's a crucial player. He makes a lot of big plays. He has a really nice shot, I think, and they don't win that game without him.
Yeah.
I mean, he made big shot in clutch moments, and the one shot that sent him into that other overtime was the play was falling apart, and Ryan was about this close to calling timeout, and about that time Sam let it go and swish. He's just a really good shooter.
He's a 3-level scorer. He can shoot. He
Yeah.
can score from downtown. His mid-range game is smooth,
Yeah.
and he has the handles and craftiness to get to the rim.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that Odom can trust down the stretch. I mean, like Hootie said, it's just. I mean, when your team is this deep in talent, I mean, I think Hugo could be a starter on this team. I mean,
He could be. Yeah.
I still think Grunlow's the guy because he's more offensively skilled than Hugo, and the advantage you may get defensively with Hugo with shot blocking is marginal compared to Grunlow, because Grunlow is also a great shot blocker. I think you may get a little bit more interior toughness with Hugo, but it's still marginal over Grunlow.
He's more physical, yeah.
More physical. Grunlow's offense is what's keeping him in the starting lineup. But Hugo, if he got 20 or 25 minutes regularly, I think would be a double-double guy.
Probably so.
But it's just the team is just really, really deep here. We'll get to some of the comments here coming from viewers and listeners. They're coming in extremely quickly right now. And viewers and listeners, put your comments in the feed. I will relay them live on air. This is from Mark Brown. We don't seem to be the same team as the first half team against North Carolina. Our defense has drastically fallen off. I love Mr. Ratcliffe's opinion. I've been to 2 games at the John Paul Jones Arena. We've lost them both. Perhaps the issue is me being in attendance, from Mark Brown.
I wouldn't be so hard on yourself, Mark. I'm not superstitious, so I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But, their defense hasn't been where Ryan wants it to be. I think it will eventually get there, but you got to stop and think and remember that 6 months ago, none of these guys even knew each other.
Right.
To put these 12 guys together from every corner of the, not just country, but from all over the earth, and to have them playing at this level of basketball is just almost unbelievable. I think if anybody said before the season, would you take 18-3 and 7-2 in the conference right now, people would have jumped all over that. And they're halfway through the ACC season, 7-2. They've played 6 road games so far, and won all but one of them. And they only have 3 ACC road games left, and that's at Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Duke.
Don't play Clemson, right?
Don't play Clemson this year. So they're sitting in a pretty good place.
Great spot, catbird seat.
Yeah, absolutely, the catbird seat. And it's not all going to be perfect right now. And some of the free throw shooting is quite shaky. That's something he would like to improve. The
Even from Chance.
Yeah, he missed a couple of big ones the other day that I'm sure he was kicking himself about.
Front ends of one-on-ones, big misses the front ends.
Yeah. They foul a lot, but then again they press a lot, and that's going to cause a few more fouls than normal. But and the defense, again, it's not where he wants it to be, but it'll get better as we go along. You just got to remember, it's kind of like just looking back at the football team. If you remember how the secondary gave up so many big plays in the pass game early, and a lot of that was just because of communication or lack of familiarity, not knowing, being that comfortable with the other guys in the secondary. They hadn't played together. They got here late. They missed spring ball. It took a while to get that continuity, but at the end of the season, it was winning them games. And I think I wouldn't push the panic button on defense just yet.
Yeah, I'm concur with you 100%. It reminds me of a conversation I had yesterday with Jeff Gaffney. Jeff Gaffney is the all-time point scorer for men's soccer.
Yeah.
Still to this
Great
day.
guy.
Great guy. The all-time point scorer for men's soccer. Had a conversation about some of the most talented guys he's played with at UVA men's soccer, Jeff Gaffney. He was a striker, center forward, Jeff Gaffney. He played, he shared the pitch with George Geldenbach, now the current coach. They were both strikers.
Yeah.
Fantastic combination at the top. I asked him, who's one of the best guys you ever played with? Played with John Harkes. John Harkes, the
I
U.S.
remember
vet.
John Harkes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Olympian,
Yeah.
one of the greatest soccer players in American history. Played with him. I said, how did it go with John Harkes? He said, John Harkes was my center midfielder. The job of the center midfielder was to get the ball to me, the striker up top. We had 1 year together. Jeff was a fourth year. John Harkes was a first year. He said that first year, that only year of playing together, we were talented and explosive, but we didn't really have the experience to gel as a tandem. If we had one more year, it would have been truly something special. If he's saying something like that, think about the basketball team who's literally played together for how many months? 4?
Yeah.
5 months?
Yeah.
Like these guys have been together for 5 months.
Yeah.
And they're a top 20 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And now the flip side of that, Hootie, is that's what college basketball is, though.
It
That's
is
the flip
now,
side.
yeah. It is now, and probably that going to be that way for a while. But still, it's a monumental task getting everybody on the same page. And I've been able to see a little bit of a couple of their practices, and it's the attention to detail is amazing with Coach Odom and his staff, and these guys are very coachable. They really pay attention to what they're being taught. It takes time to get everybody to be a cohesive unit. It doesn't work everywhere. Look at Louisville. I thought they'd be much better than what they are right now.
They're missing their point guard.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. But
Notre Dame missing their point guard.
yeah, there's a lot of people missing personnel, and in fact, Pitt is missing probably their best scorer. They lost him early, and I think they lost another guy since then. But that's why they're struggling to score. But it just takes time to blend, and you don't want to peak too early.
Right.
You want to bring these guys along at a good pace.
They got the Pitt Panthers tonight, 9 o'clock tip-off, ACC Network. Line open at 15.5. Virginia favored. Line now dwindled slightly to 13.5. Pittsburgh is putrid, 9-3 overall, 2-7 in conference play. I mean, the antithesis of Virginia. 18-3 Virginia, 7-2 in conference play. Virginia's schedule is favorable. Pitt Panthers at home, Syracuse at home on the 7th of February, which looking at my calendar is Saturday. Then you got Florida State in Tallahassee, a neutral site game against Ohio State. Late in the season to have an out-of-conference matchup.
Yeah.
On a neutral site. That's a made-for-television matchup.
Absolutely. And Ohio State, even though the record is not tremendous, I watched a little bit of their game with Michigan.
They got talent.
A little bit over a week ago, and they stretched Michigan into midway through the second half before Michigan pulled away.
On paper, it appears on paper, and correct me if I'm wrong, the last true stiff test for this Virginia team, obviously Duke, maybe a back-end matchup with Miami. But this schedule is somewhat favorable. You got winnable games all over here. You got an NC State game at home. I mean, it's the Duke matchup, right, in Durham.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge one. The NC State game will be an interesting game. They have some talent on that team, and Will Wade is a good coach. I'm not real crazy about his resume, but they have some talent and they can win. And that won't be that won't be a walk in the park, I don't think, unless Virginia just gets really hot, which they're capable of doing. They need to get hot for maybe tonight or Saturday against Syracuse. They need a game where they can just blow somebody out and shoot the ball the way they were a little bit earlier.
Comments coming in here. Let's get to Matthew McGlennon. Matthew, is this your first comment on the show, Matthew? Let us know. Let us know where you're watching as well, Matthew McGlennon. Are there any potential five-star freshmen visiting for basketball? Matthew says, I would imagine Ryan Odom's style is one that would be beloved by high school and five-star talent.
I haven't seen any five-stars that are visiting, but there's some four-stars that'll be coming around. But, it's always important to stock your team with some high school talent, but in this day and age, I don't know that you have to be overly worried about that, because you can just go out and get guys with more experience that have played at the high level. And I think if you miss on a high school recruit now, it doesn't mean anything like it used to.
I mean, I would not be surprised if Ryan Odom's team turns into a United Nations of college basketball. If he's got this European pipeline, and I'll take it a step further. If you're able to utilize Chance Mallory's maturation in Ryan Odom's system, what a recruiting tool with a point guard like Mallory that can distribute, that plays up tempo, that has eyes on the back of his head, that's unselfish, that can attack the rack and kick to players. I mean, the upside is super significant. The questions I have as a Virginia fan: does DeRidder come back for another year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been asked that a few times, and I don't know what the answer is.
I would imagine Grunlow's coming back for another year.
I'm pretty sure he will.
Hugo's exhausted eligibility.
Yeah.
Sam Lewis has eligibility.
Yes.
Chance obviously has eligibility, a lot of it left, 3 years. Hall's exhausted eligibility. Mm-hmm. But if you have a core returning of Chance, Sam Lewis, Grunlow, if you're able to get DeRidder coming back, good night. This team is fantastic. And then you have some talent that redshirted. We're curious of what Barksdale's going to be.
Yeah.
The kid that follows Ryan Odom from VCU. He's a slasher that has a lot of upside. He's the first year that redshirted.
And then Carrera is getting limited minutes, but yeah, he has some upside as well.
Comments continue to come in for you. How about this one? I'm curious what their treasure chest looks like for next year for basketball. It just seems like guys are transferring away from schools, even when the team they're leaving is winning and everything seems perfect. There are a few football players that we were sad to see go. For example, Trell Harris. He made all ACC academic honors, so he was immersed in the whole student-athlete experience. Just so hard to know whoever is going or staying.
Yeah, you just don't know. It depends on the individual and what they're seeking. There's no way to read these kids' minds about what they may be thinking. You don't know who's talking to them either. There's more tampering going on now than any time in history, I think, in college athletics. So just look at Dabo Sweeney and Pete, was it Goldberg, the Ole Miss coach? The squabble they're having over that sort of thing. But
or Virginia Tech recruiting Taylor, the running back, while he was at North Carolina Central during an active game.
Yeah, that's right.
Virginia Tech sent an assistant coach to recruit Jamari Taylor while he was playing for another team.
Yeah,
on the sideline.
I had a guy on the sideline. I think Virginia has protected itself better than some schools because they've put a lot of stock into keeping what they have and retention. And they lost a few good players, but most of the guys they lost were not going to be impact players. And they've done a really good job in the portal the last 2 years, and they've they do have a bit of a war chest going forward, so they can afford to retain players and make it attractive for them to stay and to attract really good talent from out of the portal. It's all new with basketball, so we don't know where that's going at this point. They sure have the same advantages in terms of the war chest, I think. There seems to be a lot of movement in basketball for sure, and you just don't know. I wasn't sure that the whole team last year was going to leave, even though you changed coaching staffs, but and style of play. But that's certainly what happened, and there's no way to predict that really.
Comments continue to come in quickly. Chad Wood, a fantastic tailback out of Steve Isaac's system in the Jefferson District at Western Albemarle High School, now an assistant coach at Western Albemarle High School, just an all-around great guy, someone who bleeds orange and blue, is absolutely flabbergasted that Virginia has won 2 conference road games this past week and still dropped in the AP polls.
Yeah.
We share your disbelief.
Yeah,
Chad Wood.
That somebody just didn't do their homework. Some of the voters didn't do their homework on that. Or just don't know college basketball.
Or just don't know college basketball. Yeah, I think it's that.
We saw a lot of that in the football poll this
100%.
year.
Yeah, 100%. You're winning on the road as a top 25 team in the ACC. That's saying something because you have a bullseye in your back. I think it's what you just said, Hootie. Comments continue to come in. Renee wants to know who's coming to the Tony Bennett court naming ceremony. Have you heard of anyone coming of significance?
No, UVA is pretty tight-lipped on that sort of thing, and so we don't know unless they tell us, or unless somebody just leaks the information, like they did the Tony Bennett ceremony, which leaked out a couple weeks before Virginia announced they were going to do it. I would imagine most of the players that are not still playing will be there. I would guess that Joe Harris and Malcolm Brogdon and a lot of these guys that are out of basketball now will probably return for that to honor their coach. Other than this, the only other time I think that they would probably make an effort like that is when he eventually goes into the Basketball Hall of Fame, College Basketball Hall of Fame. But they haven't put anything official out. And I think at some point this season there's talk about honoring the 1976 team as well. Wally was mentioning that the other day. That's being worked on. I haven't heard any possible date for that yet, but that would be a really nice honor too. That team's been honored a couple of times, but it's been a while, and you can't honor that team enough.
Kevin Hall, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you kindly for watching the show. Kevin Hall. We will get to some football questions here in a matter of moments for the viewers and listeners.
We need that one guy that said
Southwest Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah. His question is, why does it appear that Virginia football and basketball is constantly missing in southwestern Virginia from a high school recruiting standpoint?
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
I'll throw this to you here.
Yeah.
And this is sad to say. Sad to say. Virginia football finished, what is a top 20 team? Virginia basketball clearly is a top 20 team. If you want to be a top 20 team in college football and college basketball, I'm not sure you can continue that momentum by recruiting high school talent.
Well, yeah, there's some truth to that. And football-wise, you got to remember that Virginia Tech, up until the last few seasons, has dominated and grabbed up some of that talent, as well as some out-of-state schools. Other than George Welsh, I don't know if anybody has done a great job of recruiting Southwest Virginia. Al Groh had some success down there, getting some guys out of Roanoke, and then, of course, Heath Miller
Big money.
And then George got a ton of people out of Southwest Virginia. Thomas Jones, the Barbers, Sinclair, some other guys. But I don't know. Danny Wilmer was a great recruiter that did a lot of work down there during that time.
The late great.
The late great. And I don't know. I don't know how much basketball talent there's been that has come out of Southwest Virginia in recent years. Can't think of anybody that Virginia has missed on that they went after hard in Southwest Virginia in basketball. Can you think of anybody?
Not off the top of my head.
No, I'd have to go back and look.
Could we consider Roanoke, Southwestern Virginia?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, I mean, he's from Pulaski County here. J.J. Reddick comes to mind, Cave Spring, but that was way back in the...
It's been a while.
That's a long time ago, J.J. Reddick.
Yeah.
I believe Cave Spring, J.J. Reddick.
Virginia basketball hasn't really recruited the state that well.
Right. They haven't recruited the state well at all.
Duke and Carolina and some other people have stolen a lot of really great players out of the state.
Out of curiosity, and this is a Pulaski County gentleman right here. Out of curiosity, what is the border of southwestern Virginia and when it becomes central Virginia?
I think probably a little west or southwest of Lynchburg area.
Okay.
Going down toward Roanoke.
Okay, so Lynchburg.
I would say, Roanoke on.
Okay.
Down all the way down to the Kentucky-Tennessee border.
Yeah, yeah. So Lynchburg we call Central Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just that was a curiosity for me here. To your point, and James Watson says Curtis Staples with Roanoke.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis. We had him on a podcast recently.
Yeah, Curtis Staples, one of the deadliest marksmen in Virginia basketball history. This question's come in for you, Jerry Ratcliffe. What would it take to keep DeRidder at the University of Virginia besides money? That question's from Chapel Hill.
I think it's just a matter of what kind of feedback he gets from NBA scouts when he makes his inquiry. I mean, certainly he could probably go in the second round, but I think he wants to be a first rounder. And I think, there's some things that he needs to improve in his game. We were talking about finishing around the rim is something that.
Do you think he's an NBA player?
I think he's an NBA player.
You think he's an NBA player?
Yeah.
Long-term NBA player?
Oh, no, who knows about that? But
I think he's a European professional player.
It definitely could do that.
Yeah. My concern with DeRidder is just the explosiveness and the leaping ability and the athleticism. Yeah. Like, he is so fundamentally sound. I'll tell you, DeRidder can improve some on his three-point shooting, but he's still hitting at like a 32, 33% clip. DeRidder surprises me with his basketball handling ability. He's so skilled with dribbling the basketball.
Yeah, and he's a good passer.
Good passer for that guy. Great passer. He's proven that when he's focused on it, he can hit free throws. He's wide-bodied and can play on either block. Maybe needs to rebound a little bit better, but he's still averaging darn near close to a double-double on most nights. Mm-hmm. It's the leaping ability. It's the finishing ability. And once he gets to the NBA, seems like anybody that plays in the front court of the post could jump out of the gym.
That's a good point. And that's something that.
Can you teach jumping ability?
I mean, you can improve your explosiveness. I don't know to what degree.
Right.
But
because he's 23.
Yeah, Mike Curtis probably has some methods that will help with your ups a little bit. But I don't know at that age how much more you can gain.
Exactly. And the age may work against him here.
Yeah, it could.
When he finishes this season, he's halfway through his 23rd year on the planet. And a lot of times the NBA talent likes to pick up the 18, 19-year-old now.
Yeah.
Because they're still developing, where you can say DeRidder's maybe reached his development ceiling, perhaps. But at the flip side of the coin, at least you know what you're getting. I'm trying to see the pros is here as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of NBA scouts have been to see him this year, and I haven't really talked to any other than the fact that, who we're here to see. And they say, "Who do you think I'm here to see?"
Yeah.
So it's obvious that there's some strong interest. It's just a matter of, I think with him, it's probably going to be a fit. What team does he fit the best? Because if he gets taken by somebody that where he's not a good fit, it's not going to help him or the club. But it's got to be somebody that he can fit in with the tools that he does have.
If I'm the University of Virginia, the two guys I'm most focused on keeping on this roster, it's a 1A and 1B standpoint. It's DeRitter and Chance Mallory.
Yeah.
And I make sure these guys are paid $1 million, 7 figures plus to stay.
Back up the
Brinks truck.
The Brinks truck and keep them, make them happy.
Yeah, and make those dudes happy because those guys are the cornerstones of this program. DeRitter with only 1 year left. James Watson, Big Stone Gap, Thomas Jones, have you highlighted. Jeremy Wilson's watching in Eastern Tennessee, so he's flirting with the southwestern Virginia border. He goes R.J. Reynolds as another guy.
Yeah.
Fantastic two-guard R.J. Reynolds. J.R. Reynolds.
Yeah.
Play with Sean Singletary.
He's from Roanoke.
Yeah, and the Sean Singletary backcourt.
But all those guys you were talking, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Staples, Reddick, Reynolds.
Yeah.
Corey Alexander, even though he's over, not really in Southwest Virginia, but it's been a while.
Donald Foley, Sean Moore in football, Piedmont District. He highlights. Here's a question for me. You're a Pulaski County guy. Best athlete to come out of Pulaski County?
Probably Gary Clark.
Wide receiver, Redskins?
Yeah.
Okay. JMU? Did he go JMU?
Yeah, went to JMU.
The wide receiver, he was part of the posse, Art Monk, Gary Clark, and Ricky Sanders, with Mark Ripken throwing him the football and Ernest Biner in the backfield.
Exactly.
That was a great, that was a Super Bowl winning team.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Gary Clark that was a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
Those were the Hawks.
Exactly.
Yeah. You covered that team.
I did cover that team.
Yeah.
And he's in the Virginia State Hall of Fame.
Did Clark make the Canton Hall of Fame?
No.
I think Art Monk did, didn't he?
Art Monk, I think, did.
Did Art Monk?
Year before last or last year?
He made it, but Gary Clark has not? Man, that's...
Not yet. Not to say that he won't, but he's definitely the guy, the best that's come out of there.
Out of Pulaski County.
At this point, yeah. There's been a few others, but he's the best.
Viewers and listeners, it's a pleasure here on it. Let's talk walking down memory road here with my friend, Jerry Ratcliffe. Can we talk football? What are you following with transfer portal and football?
Yeah, sure.
What's jumped out to you so far as football's now getting a little more quiet?
Yeah, we're actually going to talk to Tony Elliott tomorrow about the signing class, and there hasn't been a lot of action with high school stuff except for the class of 27, which they're ranked really high nationally with. They only have 7 commitments. They got another one yesterday, a wide receiver from Midlothian. Story on my website about him with a picture of the guy that blew me away. He's going up to catch a pass over a defender, and his legs are even with the other guy's chin.
I see that.
That kind of surprised me, but pretty solid get. He chose Virginia over Virginia Tech and Pitt, Syracuse, Wake Forest, JMU, and some others. But they have 6 of those 7 guys are from the state of Virginia, so they're starting to make some inroads in the state. I don't think they've ever had more than 6 in a class in Tony Elliott's 4 years, so they will probably go over double figures in that respect this year. They did get a guy from the portal yesterday, a kid from Dartmouth, who also had an amazing picture with his story. He's leaping over somebody. I don't know if he intercepted the pass or what, but he's completely jumping over somebody.
He hurdles, I'm looking at hurling a man.
Yeah, completely hurdling
and then pushing him down while hurdling the man.
Yeah, the kid's from Dartmouth. Name's Campbell, and he's usually you pick up somebody this late in the portal this year, you might wonder what you're getting, but yeah, he does have a high IQ, versatility, and he's played in 27 games, so he's got some experience to add to the secondary next year too. But they've done well in the portal. I think the ACC did well in the portal. Virginia's somewhere around 30 to 40 nationally in the recruiting, that portal recruiting class, and I think they're like 7th or 8th or something in the ACC. So the conference racked up pretty well.
Rob Neal watching the program. He is the most passionate JMU football fan that I know.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm a Cave Spring Knight here, and I love the Southwestern Virginia talk on the Jerry and Jerry show.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's been some great players from down there, and some of my favorites. Tiki and Rondé are
Top of the list.
Guys that I've gotten close to over the years, and always had a great relationship with them, and marveled at what they were able to do as twins, and just overall good guys too.
This is a memory lane trip for us here. I used to work for Jerry Ratcliffe at the Daily Progress. He was the sports editor, and I was the lowly guy in the totem pole. And Monticello baseball was going deep in the postseason under Mark Mace, who's the head baseball coach. Corey Hunt was on that team. The shortstop played baseball for Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent me to cover a Monticello state semifinal, state quarterfinal in Pulaski County.
Yeah, Calfee Park.
Yeah, great baseball park.
It's where I played high school football.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great baseball park.
And Sandlot football.
Yeah, covered it right there. And I was what I was most impressed with was the amount of folks that lived in Pulaski that were watching the game that had no ties to either team, that were just there to watch the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, these people are passionate just about sports here.
Yeah, no question. Especially
awesome.
high school football. They've had some really good high school football down there.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's one of the things, and James Madison's watching the program. He lives in Mineral. One of the things that I love about Louisa County in Mineral, Virginia, when the Lions are playing football, the town shuts down. It's like from Friday Night Lights or Varsity Blues, where the storekeepers put the sign in the window, closed for the game.
It's the only game in town.
Only game in town. Yeah, it's the only game in town. My friend, always a joy to do this. Hour flies by when you're having fun. What's in the hopper at jerryratcliffe.com?
Well, we'll have coverage of the Pitt game tonight, and then looking at Syracuse this weekend. Be doing a little baseball. I think they open up a week from Friday, I believe, against Wagner, I believe it is. If I assume they'll have the snow will be gone by then. I don't know.
Let's hope.
But that, and just some other stuff on the side. But plenty of stuff going on.
JerryRatcliffe.com. I'll say it again.
Another podcast with Jeff Jones later in the week.
His podcasts with Jeff Jones are fantastic. You can find him on JerryRatcliffe.com. Follow him on Twitter, and Jerry Ratcliffe on Twitter. He does great stuff there. It's just two guys in a barbershop type of setting talking about the ACC and UVA athletics and sports in the Commonwealth of Virginia. You got the Pitt Panthers tonight on the ACC network. That line is now 13.5. Virginia is a 13.5-point favorite. Virginia now enters the second half of the Atlantic Coast Conference slate. And it looks like a team that, if the stars align, could make a deep push in March Madness in the NCAA tournament, guys. For Judah Wickower, the director behind the screen, behind the show, and the star, Jerry Ratcliffe, my name is Jerry Miller, and this is the Jerry and Jerry Show. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir. Likewise.